City Clerk Latricia Wright. I am here, and all other staff. Thank you.
We will have the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance to the flag by Mayor Charles Goodman.
Join me if you will. Is this on? Hello? It is? I like the other voice. Lord, we come to you tonight as a group of people who are trying to do the best that we can for our city. Lord, we are all human, and we accept the fact that we are human. And we ask your guidance in all that we say and do. And Lord, that we ask that you can be honest so that we can forgive each other for our mistakes and to move forward with light. And Lord, I ask you to please, Lord, watch out for our policemen and our firemen. The world is a little more difficult to live in than it used to be. And I see on the news all the time where, you know, Lord, where these public servants are killed in the line of duty when they're just trying to help you. So we ask you to place a hedge of protection around them. In your name, amen.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Item number 1, any additions, deletions, changes, and approval of the agenda.
Seeing none, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
A second.
I have a first and a second. Move to vote. All in favor, say aye.
I heard it too.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The motion has been approved with a vote of 5-0. Item number 2, presentation of employees pin 20+ years of service, City Manager Sue Beaudet and HR Director Kim Troy.
Thank you very much, Madam President. As I mentioned at the last council meeting, we are going to be recognizing our employees that have significant years of service with the city. We're starting with 25 years of service and 20 years of service. Today we have 5 employees, and then we're going to work our way down to 15, 10, and 5 at the next 3 council meetings.
All right, we're going to start with 25 years. Jonathan Bishop, who is not currently here, he is our conference. Matthew Courtney.
He is not here tonight.
Larry Neal.
You've got company.
It's okay.
You can have him with you.
Oh yeah, he can stay.
Charles Caldwell? Mr. Caldwell? Thank you for your dedication and contributing to the City of Williston's success over the last 20 years.
Mr. Rolls, he's Chief Rolls.
All right, so a lot of y'all know Rev. Rev is our school crossing guard. He's out there every morning, rain or shine, protecting those children. And I know sometimes he's bashful about saying things, but Rev, I just want to tell you thank you for 25 years. I haven't been here the whole time, but the time that I am here, I have enjoyed having you on the team. Thank you. I'm going out of key here, but Brooke Willis, you spend a lot of time with this man. Anything you want to say? Nope. Right.
Anything nice you want to say?
And Mr. Jimmy Willis, thank you for your dedication and contributing to the City of Williston's success over the last 20 years.
I guess we're done, huh?
I'm done, but they're not.
It goes back to the mayor.
Okay, item number 3, public participation. It's going to be 5 minutes, please. This is time for you to speak on anything that is not on the agenda. Please say your name and where you're from.
Good evening, Jacqueline Appling. I would just like to make a few announcements. Last time I was up here, we presented a Young Pioneers certificate to Taylor Seabrooks. I'm in the process of working with the committee on helping me get that plaque completed, to have those names put on the plaque. Also, our August 2nd movie night will be postponed. There's a lot going on. I think you guys know about the book bag giveaway that we saw Miss Mimi. So a lot going on that day. So we'll postpone it, but I won't be working with her. She'll probably have it sometime in November. Update on the water at the park. I noticed there's digging going on, so I guess it's not ground moles. So I'll get with Jonathan. There is something happening. I appreciate and thank everyone for everything. Again, just look out for the movie night that will come up probably sometime in November. Thank you again, and our softball game out at the Low League Field, if you guys were able to attend, it was an awesome event. It was really awesome. We had 4 teams there, and some of us played and some didn't. It was hot. So we did have a great time. So thanks again. to everyone who helped to push that through and help us get that situated. We have 2 more games, so if you don't have anything to do on a Sunday in the next month, please come and join us at the Little League Field. Again, thank you for your support with Friends Community Committee. We'll just keep growing in Williston and keep continuing to see that. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Joel Penny. I got a couple of things. The pump that's over there by your house, I was just wondering, is there a way we could put a carport over it or something so it's out of the weather?
About the Fugate lift station
Yes, ma'am.
near the tennis court.
Yes, ma'am. That $80,000 piece of equipment's just sitting out in the weather. I mean, could we get it covered or something? Put a carport over it.
Don't have our
So,
utility people here
It could
tonight.
keep, its lifetime out. When are they taking over the tennis court and doing something?
I don't know anything about tennis courts.
You don't? Have you found out about having the fence put around the pit yet? Or
Talking to me?
I'm asking.
As the president.
Has there been any more talk about putting the fence around the pit?
I have not heard of anything, but utility who is not here are not here to give us advice on that, so we'll have to get back with you.
And it does have a fence. Yeah,
Yay. I mean,
it has a fence.
if you go by where your son's house is on that corner, there's a little spot a lot of kids go in there. They slip in there. But I'll just let you know.
Okay, so if you have any safety concerns, please come to City Hall and advise them so they can go out and take a look at it.
Okay, I'll just let you know.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else?
James Varner. I live at 315 Southeast First Ave. I don't know if y'all go in front of my house, but it's like a lake every time it rains. Can we get some drainage put in there soon? I mean, it's like a lake there today from 6 o'clock this morning until about 1 o'clock. I know it's rained all day.
Yeah.
But it's been there. The house has been there over 100 years. I know it has. You or also used to own the house. So the problem's been there that long. Still there. Can we get it fixed?
Have you come before the city before and made a
Well, it's my
complaint?
first time coming asking, so.
Okay. So if you will, please come to City Hall and address them there. They'll
All
be
right.
able to help you. Thank you. Is there anyone else? If not, we're going to item 4, the consent agenda. Council minutes from June 3rd, June 17th, and July 8th, 2025. I need a motion.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
may I address this?
You
Okay, thank you. On page 73 of those minutes, there is a itemization of we as a council decided to look at and possibly act on the vacation. You okay now? The vacation.
On what
to-
page, Mr. Mayor?
Page 73
There-
of last council meeting. That's what the consent agenda is.
Oh, we don't have a 73 in our packet.
Page 73 of 6/17/2025. That was our last meeting.
They're not the one we have now.
At any rate, on that meeting, we decided to look at it was brought to us by the city manager, and we decided to look at employee vacation payout. And I'm here to tell the council that I believe that we did not have all the information that we needed to have. Those people that had this possible payout were supposed to have until January to use all their vacation. And some of them chose they did not want to get paid, and they were paid anyway. And I want to present to the council that perhaps you could amend this in some manner to say that you have until January to use your vacation, and after January, then this will have to be a payout if you have not used your vacation by then, because the policy clearly states that it's till January, and we have taken away that policy by this vote. And I'm sure it was an error that nobody intended to do it, but we have some people that are upset because they were planning to take the vacation in December, which would use the time that they had, and that opportunity was taken away from them. And I ask the council to please reconsider that.
Mr. Vice President, yeah. Comment?
My comment would be that the minutes as they are presented tonight are correct. But you're asking us to amend the vote that we took.
And
on an
the
issue.
vote is not in the minutes.
The vote is not in the minutes.
I'm reading them right here.
Well,
There is no record of the vote being done in the minutes. I'm sure it was. I'm not disputing it, but in the minutes, there's no record of it.
I'm looking at the last packet and there is no, it's not on page 73.
I don't know what you're looking at, but I'll be happy to let you see my computer. It is on date 6/17/2025. Council agenda item, topic discussion with possible action, vacation payout requested by City Manager Sue Beaudet, prepared by City Manager Sue Beaudet, background description, employee vacation payout, legal review, yes, physical impact, $77,654.31. Recommended action by the person bringing it, which was the city manager, was approved. Attachment and spreadsheet of the excess vacation hours. They are on the next page. I don't need to go over them with you. I'm sure you can find them at your will. The point is that there are some people that intended to take their vacation time, and that opportunity was taken from them by our vote.
Madam President, if I can just weigh in briefly, so just to make sure that we all stay on the same page, and just for the record, the mayor's correct. So what he's referencing is on page 10 of your agenda. That's the June 17th meeting that he's referencing. On page 14 of your agenda is the July 8th meeting, and if you look at item D, there was the motion to approve that vacation payout. It was made by Councilmember Martin, seconded by Councilmember Jones. Motion carried 5-0. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page, that it was initially
go by what's on the computer. This wonderful technology that cannot possibly be wrong says 73 on the top.
It's not the last meeting, though. It's the one before.
It is the 17th
if we can let
of June.
The attorney finish, please.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
And so just to clarify, I think that just to keep us clear, the motion is on the minutes, their accuracy. So I do want to just make sure that we're all on the same page during this discussion, that the minutes are accurate.
Yes.
Not to say that we can't have this conversation, but just to make sure that we don't muddy our record up.
Right.
Gotcha.
Can I speak now?
Yes, sir.
I have no question but what the minutes are accurate. But what I'm reading on my computer is that the vote was not put on the minutes. What is on the minutes is accurate in my computer because there is no record of the votes. I looked through it, looked for any other addendums anywhere in it, and the votes are not registered on the minutes. I know you did it. I know there was a vote, but it's not that the minutes are incorrect. It's just that the vote is not registered on the minutes.
Okay. Did you have something to say?
Yes. How many employees came this week to the city manager and HR?
So let's just start right now, right here. So let's go ahead and vote on the agenda, the consent agenda as it is, and then when the mayor's turn or the council's turn comes back up, we'll discuss it then. That way we don't get our faces that way. With everybody.
I just did not see another time to bring this up.
We'll bring it up shortly. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Is there any comment? If none, we're gonna move to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Now we'll go with updates. We're going to start with staff, board, and council. We'll start with city manager supervisor.
Thank you very much. Okay, just wanted to talk a little bit about insurance tonight. So last week I received an email from Trevor Reshney over at FMIT regarding our work comp renewal. This might get a little technical, and I apologize, but so in the email he explained that a modification rate of 1.0 is considered average for work comp, and anything above 1.0 indicates a higher risk, and anything below 1.0 indicates a lower risk. Those numbers are decided, or figures are decided by the National Council on Compensation Insurance. They basically calculate all the rates in Florida, and they do so by looking at our loss ratio against expected loss ratios for similar entities. So in the current fiscal year, 24-25, our modification rate was 1.3, and for next year it's increasing to 1.54, which is a 24% increase for work comp. So just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Our number is what?
1.54 for next year. It's 1.3 currently.
Thank you.
So 24% increase. Then yesterday, we met with Lindsay Fisher of FMIT regarding our health insurance renewal. So I gave you bad news. I'm going to give you good news next. Our medical insurance is actually decreasing by 5% this year. We're the only municipality receiving a decrease in their book of business.
Wow.
Their medical trend was actually an 8.6% increase, and we're getting a 5% decrease. So Latricia and I kind of jumped up and down for joy about that. Dental insurance, there's no change. It's $34.99 per month. Vision insurance, no change, $6.55 per month. And life insurance, I just wanted to bring this to your attention and kind of be thinking about this during our budget workshops. So there's no change in the premium right now. We offer $15,000 for each of our employees, our full-time employees. It's $5.85 per month for $15,000 in coverage. It's a little low for life insurance. I don't know if anybody's had to bury a loved one recently, but $15,000 doesn't go a long way. So I did ask them just for a quote for $100,000 in coverage. That's actually what I had in Bronson, and it's $39 per month as opposed to the $5.85 per month. It would cost, if we offered that to everybody, it would cost the city approximately $25,000 more per year. So just wanted to put that out there as an option if we wanted to increase that for our employees. It would be a selling feature, obviously, to let them know that we offered more coverage there. Next, open enrollment is going to be August 11th and August 12th. Kim's already got that scheduled. And last but not least, I wanted to let everybody know, I'm not sure if you've seen this on Facebook, but we have been working with CFCAA on a hurricane emergency leadership and preparedness program. It is going to be on Saturday, August 9th from 9 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Heritage Park. They'll be giving away free hurricane supply bags for the first 100 households. But they're basically looking for donations, if anybody would like to donate to the cause. I'm just trying to get ahead of hurricane season and make sure that they have some help for people if people need it this year. They will also be offering hot dogs and I think a drink and chips for $5 as well. So August 9th, Saturday, August 9th. And last but not least, I had a card on the dais today that I wanted to read to you guys. It's a thank you card. It says, "Thank you with all of my heart. I am extremely grateful for the honor of Grand Marshal for the City of Williston 4th of July Parade 2025. What an honor. God bless, Pastor Reginald L. Williams Sr." And that's all I had.
Ms. Wright. Chief O. Any other staff? Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Hector Samario and Mike McCann, project manager with Performance Services. And good evening to everybody. Just here to do a quick update and to answer any questions you may have. I've just got a couple of notes that I have here. I'll be quick. First, thank you for the opportunity that we have in building your fiber optic project. Just for this, allowing us to do this update. We're making great progress, and to bring that high-speed internet to your residents and businesses. And thanks to the dedication and hard work of your staff, we're on track to complete the project on schedule by the end of this calendar year. We are just getting ready to add a second crew, and we expect to have a third crew in the next couple of weeks to start on the Williston RV resort. I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to recognize two individuals who have been pivotal. I want to provide you this update. And that's Aaron and that's Donald. They have been very proactive. They have been hardworking to help us get to where we are today. And why do I mention them? Because we're already exceeding some of the goals that you had set as part of this project. And it's not because of what I'm doing. It really is because of your staff members. So we projected to have 300 subscribers during the construction period. We expected in the first year to have that number to grow to 500, second year to 700, and the third year would be at about 850 subscribers. You're almost at your year 3 subscriber rate or expectations just already. We don't include the RV park, you're at about over 500, and with the RV park, you're close to 750 and so on. So again, that's not because of what we're doing. It's because of what they've done so far and the commitment they've had to this project. I'm going to go off script here. I went off script and I was thinking about my notes, and I just started writing when I was sitting there. You may have seen me writing. And the reason I'm going to go off script because this project for me, and I know for you, is very important. And for me, I'm passionate about this. I want this to be a resounding success for you, for your staff, for your residents. I want it to be just a wonderful success, both technically and financially. And because of my passion, I want to make sure that there are people who are also passionate about this project involved in it. Affordable service is going to be important, but it's also going to enhance your enterprise revenues. And I think you know that. And I think you know the importance of that when you take a look at the transfers from enterprise fund that you've had over the last couple of years. I've seen that transfer grow, but I think you're more familiar with that than I am. So, I guess I said I want passionate people involved in running this project. And I'm not aligned with anybody. I know there are a lot of things that are going on, but I'm not aligned with anybody. What I am aligned with is the success of this project, and that is what I'm most interested in. But I say this is that I'm glad that Donald and Aaron are involved because I think they're key to this project. Not just during construction, but I think they're going to be key to this project long term. When you have people that are passionate about what they're doing, and passionate about the project, and passionate about providing wonderful and affordable customer service and utility services to your residents, I think that's you couldn't ask for things to be any more than that. I think that's key. I think we've all been there, right? We've all been passionate about something, and it doesn't feel like you're working. It doesn't feel like there's effort involved. You just do it because it's important to you. I've seen that in my kids. I've seen that in people, and so you know the importance of that. So again, I'm grateful that they're involved, and I'm just going to wrap up and move on to questions. But I want to thank Sue for her support as well. It's been great working with her. I've been working with cities for the last 20 years, many managers, many cities. I've been working at the international level with the ICMA organization. I served there for 3 years on some of their committees. So I get city managers, and I'm just grateful that Sue's here to support your project and support us along the way. So thank you for your continued support, partnership as we move towards a more connected future for the city of Williston. And happy to answer any questions.
So when are you going to start bringing it online? Signing people up?
Well, yeah, the how much, that's a city question. But I'll let Mike answer the when. That's always the key question.
Pretty good. I know you say we have 2 crews. You're getting a third one. So what's the timeline?
The third crew will be when we start the underground installation over at the Williston crossing.
Right.
As we get moving into installing the fiber cable, which should be next week, as we get going further into that, we'll move and probably bring in another crew to do. We have some areas where it transitions from aerial to underground, and those are 2 different crews. So we'll bring in a crew to start doing that underground portion once the aerial is at a position where we can move to that underground. So we'll have 4 or so. Oh, when
are you going to sign up your first customer?
well, actually got customers signed up.
Well, I know they're signed up, but it doesn't count unless they're connected.
To actually start feeding, we're hoping that will be sometime between the middle of August and September. We're waiting still for Lumen to basically get you light to the building here, and then we'll be passing that on to the houses. But I assume we will be completing the line out to the houses somewhere around the 1st of September.
That's what they want to know. Thank you.
The question put forth as to how much?
Right now, we're looking at doing a gigabit up and down for $50 a month.
$49.99.
$49.99. That's our initial offering, and we may adjust that and make some bigger, smaller plans, as we see. That's what we're looking at.
I know it's been said before, but that's probably not the lowest, one of the lowest in the country.
It's free in the country doing it, we're one of them.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna let
Madam President.
Attorney Ballou.
Oh.
We're gonna let Attorney Ballou.
I just wasn't sure if you were
Speak.
going to move on. I
No,
didn't
ma'am.
want to miss
No,
my
ma'am.
shot. I want to provide the council an update on the independent investigation that you all approved at the last meeting, just to keep you posted on how things are progressing. There are 3 dates of interviews for all non-exempt employees, so that's everyone except your directors, upper management, supervisors, etc. 2 of those days are completely full. August 6th and 7th are completely full for interviews, and the 15th is about 3/4 full. If we get additional people that come in after, technically sort of the initial deadline to sign up for interviews has passed, but they're still willing to accept additional people as they come along. We just wanted to make sure that we get people in and scheduled for interviews as quickly as possible. So if anyone hears from someone that says, "Oh, I missed the interview, but I have something important to say," send them to Danielle. They can still sign up for an interview. We just want to make sure that we get this resolved as quickly as possible. So we anticipate that directors, supervisors, upper management will be interviewed on the 18th and thereafter, and then we'll be able to give you sort of better sense of where the rest of the investigation will go and give you a better timeline on the rest of that. Danielle and Megan have worked with your employees to make sure that they're comfortable regarding location, have worked with them on time. So if anyone says, "Oh, I couldn't sign up because I have X, Y, and Z concern," please have them reach out to Danielle. Megan and Danielle are very happy and willing to work with anyone to figure out a way around any concerns that they may have regarding the interview process. So we really want to make sure, really stress to anyone that this is your opportunity, and it's going to kind of be much harder to resolve any complaints that come up after this process is finished. So this is the time. I'm happy to answer any other questions, but that's sort of the update I have for you right now. We'll have more information after those interviews have occurred.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for?
Just say that's good news, and I would encourage every employee to sign up, whether you want to say good things or bad things. And you just say it, whatever it is.
All right. Any updates from the council?
I have two. I want somebody to reassure me that we answered the response for the Doge request from the state of Florida.
Stephen requested an extension till next week, I believe.
Perfect. So we did
working
respond.
on it.
I knew you could ask for extension if you
Yes.
needed it. Okay. The other question, did the property at the top of the hill get entered into the system for the RFP?
So we're waiting until August 1st for that to keep but August 1st is our line in the sand of when we're entering that on to the program.
And is it someone's intention to notify people that it's there? How are we going to let people know it's there?
So
I mean, people don't know to go look if you don't tell them.
Yeah, so the standard way that we advertise our RFPs is how we'll advertise this one. So I believe that right now we advertise in the paper, and then we also have a posting on the website for them to go to the specific line item website of where we keep. And I always forget central bidding.
Thank you. I can't remember the name of it. Thank you.
Question? Can you jump in about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that we signed up for it, and it escaped me the name, but a company that came and spoke and did a presentation.
Central bidding. Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it either.
Thank you. Yep. Just want to make sure.
So people are used to looking there.
Yes.
Big companies and.
Yes, it's a very well used platform across Central Florida, most of Florida, actually, really kind of nationally. But yes,
perfect. That's all I have.
And then your staff has also been good about notifying any previous vendors who have put out RFPs for you all before that this is a platform that we're using now. So,
any other updates from council?
We'll continue to do the mayor's. So with what the mayor said earlier,
I actually found it. I found it, by the way. So,
okay.
Yeah, it is in the minutes.
So did we have any, this will go to city manager and HR. Did we have any employees come and say they would like to take theirs in December, was it, Mr. Mayor? Or January? Where they would take their pay out. So nobody came in.
I did not.
Do we have any supervisors that we're talking about taking the pay instead of taking the full amount for the unused leave being paid out? There's some employees who want to wait until January to be able to use that leave in December, but we've already voted to do a payout. So I guess this question is...
We've already done the payout. I just add that.
Yeah. Okay. So the question was, had anybody gone to their supervisors or anything and then spoken with the city manager so that would be addressed previously? Yep. Go ahead.
Major Fortney spoke with HR and the city manager about not getting paid out.
And was that before or after?
Before.
Before we took the vote?
I don't know if it was before the vote, but when it came about, he spoke and said he didn't want the payout.
Okay. Was he aware that we were discussing payout?
I think he was actually here in your absence when we first discussed it.
Yeah, that was, Doreen was here. Sergeant Caslow was here. I think Matt might have been here.
I think he was here as well.
Yep.
That's when I first heard it from him.
Yep.
I will just comment too. We did find the vote. It is here. It's in the July 8th minutes. So if you're not looking at July 8th, you're not going to find it. We tabled it on June 3rd, and we tabled it on June 17th, and we voted on it on July 8th. I will say that we talked at length before the vote to move it from the 200 to the 288. We also said not to use any of the hours that would be accrued this year. So as long as that's what we did, that's what we voted on. Now, if we took any of the hours from this year, that's the difference. I don't know how you would know that either, but
so we'll let city manager speak on that.
So I want to talk a little bit about the timeline, about how this came to be. So when Terry was here, this is something that Terry had handed me and said this needed to be addressed because of the changeover from ADP to Edmonds and the fact that Edmonds wasn't going to allow for the more than the 288 hours, which is why I brought it to the council. And as you recall, we had 4 or 5 discussions about it. Correct. So that was the reasoning that we brought it, was because this new system does not allow to carry 900 hours like ADP did before. So I just want to address the timing. And that's the reason why it came before the council to handle it.
Did at any time Mr. Fortney come to you and HR to discuss that he did not want to pay out?
As I recall, the only thing that he mentioned was about the sick time, and you guys may I can't remember if it was in the packet or not, but when Stephen did the spreadsheet in Excel, he did vacation and sick because we wanted to see if anybody else had over their sick time, and I can't remember what the hours are, 800, and he did have more than the sick time, but not by a lot. That's the only thing that I can remember with Major Courtney. And again, he may have had a conversation with me maybe a couple of months ago that I don't recall, but I don't recall anything recently. The only thing that I have heard over the last 2 weeks since the council meeting was, where's my check? And we heard many of the employees that came to us and wanted to know when the check was going to be cut, and they just got their checks today.
So, Ms. Ballou, is there any way that we can satisfy this? Satisfy is not the word, but to make it happen for what the employee wanted to get done.
So you as a council can absolutely change what you previously voted on. What I'll say is that based on what I'm looking at here, which is from your meeting packet in July, it looks like there were, okay, so going full circle just so everyone's on the same page. Your HR policy has a max of 288 hours of annual leave that can be accrued. Accrued annual leave in excess of 288 hours shall be set back to the maximum of 288 hours on January 1st of each year. In your July 8th packet, you were presented with a spreadsheet that indicated carryover hours as of December 31st, 2024. So that would include 0 hours that were not set back or eligible or required to be under your policy set back to 288. So you then had a list of 8-ish employees who met that criteria, along with an analysis of the payout hours that they would be eligible for. That spreadsheet is what you all voted on, and your vote was to pay out in accordance with these hours. So absent a vote of the council, there really wasn't any change that anyone else could make. You all can, if you decide to, go back and amend your vote and say that you want to give your employees the option to choose not to take the payout and instead use the hours, but under the default policy, the 288 would set back. They would set back to 288. So this payout was really sort of, we recognize that there's this kind of chronic problem. The council decided that they wanted to make it right and get even with the employees so that everyone could feel like there was fair resolution. So I don't know that, our discussions previously were that no one is entitled to any of this because your policy says 288 and everyone was over 288 at that point. You all decided on a payout. You can absolutely decide to do something different if you don't want to do that anymore. But that just wasn't part of the previous discussion that we had. So if we want to make it an option that people can use it by the end of the year or receive a payout, then absolutely that can be something that this council votes on.
I think also with the discussion, because we actually discussed that, was the fact that people are still going to be accruing hours. So therefore, even if we allow them to wait and use hours up through December, then they still have those hours that they have accrued throughout the year. And with what he is saying related to, he has until January, that's for this fiscal year, not the previous fiscal years. So what we paid him was based on years previous, not this year. So I think that what we voted on is just the way it is.
So he has 288 potential accrued hours this year alone that he could use.
Correct. Actually, he has 288 be allowed to roll over.
Okay, right.
He's still accruing for this year.
Okay, so he can roll over into January.
And that's the point he's trying to make, I think, is that he could have used it if we hadn't taken it when we did. And I think if we're going to do that, though, we need to ask every employee, not just him. Because I don't think we asked anybody. Most of them, as Ms. Beaudet has said, is where's my check? They didn't say, I want to keep this until the end of the year. Most have said, I want my money, please. Now,
But I think
let me also say that we could have thrown it all in the trash can. The way our policy is written, the 288, it could have all gone in the garbage. And I have actually worked for people, or worked for management companies that have come in and taken over, who've actually taken the excess if their policy was different than the one we've been going by, and they've just thrown it in the garbage. And you didn't have to have a chance to use it. You didn't have a chance to get paid out. So I think the city's being very generous. However, if we're going to ask one person, I think we need to ask them all, just in case they wanted to do the same thing.
But they've already been paid. The checks
They
went
have.
out
They would have
today.
to pay it back. What they were paid today, they would have to pay it back in order to be able to use it. I mean, they were paid at an hourly rate of what they're making now, so they have to pay it back. And if they'd rather have the vacation than the dollars, which is what he's essentially saying, I think.
And I would need a separate vote from you all to
Yeah.
provide that ability. Because right now we don't have that.
So they can have either or.
If you choose that to be.
But we
But
would
not
have to
as
put
you
it-
previously voted.
But we would have to put it back on
Right. We just
the agenda, and then we would have to vote again on it.
because we just gave them the one option.
We didn't really
The
give them any
option is
option. We did it
ours.
ourselves.
Right.
We made the option. So, yes, sir.
So I understand the 288, but we also have to understand that a lot of these employees that have over the 288 hours didn't happen this year or last year. This is time that has been built up over the past that we have allowed that to carry over. So to say that they got to use it now when they built it up over 28 years or 17, whatever, how many years, to tell them you got to use it now because we got a new system and they won't allow you to carry it. I don't think that's proper. I don't think that's right. I think maybe what we should have done is gave them a little bit of time to use it before we made the move. Because I mean, some of these guys and ladies, they don't have the hours because they wanted to work. They wanted to go home. But at the same time, the workload requires some of us to have to work extra hours, and we gain extra hours, and that's just commitment and dedication to the city and commitment and dedication to the job. I'm not saying that I'm against what happened or that I don't like the process of what took place, but when I hear that we are doing this because we got a new system and now we're enforcing this rule, I don't think that's right.
I hear your concerns and I appreciate that. But I'm going to say that we also have had numerous discussions about it. And at no point did anybody come forward and say that they would like to see something different. We've tabled it twice and we voted on it a third time. So there is ample opportunity, just a moment, sir. There is ample opportunity for people to come and say, not to us, but to the manager or HR and say, listen, this is what we're looking for prior to us making a vote.
Except we really never asked them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We just laid it out there and
Yeah,
said
we just
this
did
is-
it. And we thought we were doing the right thing because
Why is it wrong now?
Because some employers would have thrown it in the garbage.
Right.
They would have not paid it or given it to them. They would have just done it away because it's been a policy forever. It's not that we changed the policy.
Right.
It's that the system allowed it and now it doesn't.
Right.
So the fact that we didn't ask them whether they would rather have the time off or the money, at least for, as has been said, for this first time. After that, there is no going back. The system is the system, of policy is the policy. But this first time, we should have asked them.
I agree.
I jump in. I just want to say I agree with both Debra and with Darfeness that, I understand that maybe this first year we need to be a little bit more lenient and we can go back. But I would just ask the department heads, if your employees express this concern, could you please put it in writing and date it and send it to the city manager so she can pass that information on to us so we don't end up at this impasse again because, like Darfeness said, we've discussed this. multiple meetings, and now we're going to circle back and add it to an already probably long meeting in the future. It could have been resolved before this, and I feel like if there are concerns from your employees, please have them put it in writing and send it. And if they did and we missed it, then that's on us. But please help us out with that so that we're all on the same page.
They would have done that, but we didn't.
But this conversation took place at 3, if not 4 different meetings.
How many employees do you see here?
I know, but that I feel like personally, I feel like the department head's jobs is to go back to the employees and say, this is what was discussed at the meeting and this is how it's going to affect you, and do you have any concerns? And if so, give them to me and I'll pass them on up the chain. Personal feeling.
Well, in all honesty, it should happen that way. But if it didn't, we can't.
Yeah, I'm
blame
happy
the
with
employee
I'm
for
happy with going back and providing some leniency this first year. But I think to avoid the feeling that the city is working against you or that the city is trying to do things not in your favor when we're not. We're trying to make this right. And now it seems like, oh, well, you didn't give them, it puts everybody on a bad foot. And I think this has to be a two-way street. Like, we will make the decision, but you've got to give us the feedback in a timely fashion and also in a fashion that's not in passing in the hall, a comment. Please put it in writing so we can look at it, review it, read it, see the date, make sure it's pertinent. Like, that's the proper way to do things.
True.
So let's
and
do a motion.
But also, do we have to ask them for their opinion? We're making decisions based on a policy that's already in effect, things that we have already, done as far as a new system. Everybody knew that we were getting a new system. So, that being said, and not to dismiss, I'm getting to this for a second, not to dismiss anything, but where do we draw the line? And if we make a decision and something is not kosher with the decision, how often are we going to go back and circumvent what we've already done just to make things better? At what point is our decisions going to stand because those were decisions that we made? I'm going to let Mr. Cox talk for a second, and then if it's okay with the council, I'm going to have Mr. Gordon speak.
I'm going to just do a motion.
Oh, but you can do that.
So we can let Mr. Courtney.
Would you like to stand, Mr. Courtney, please?
Been here 28 years. May 21st, I met with the city manager. She was there with me. I was talking about the sick time they took, some hours from numbers didn't match up. I was told by the city manager that they took it from everybody that was over. That was incorrect because when I asked my employees that work for me that were over, they didn't take their hours. It took me 7 weeks to get that rectified. When we were talking on the 21st, I said, ma'am, I would not like to be paid out. I would like to take my time off. I'm within policy. At the end of the year last year, I was at 251, but that was because I got paid the next week. We work, I'm off around Christmas, and then we get paid the next week, which would be the first of the year. I already burned the time at the end of the year. It wasn't taken off the paycheck until the first. That's not my fault. I took the time off in the correct year. Whether it moved over to the next year because that's the payroll cycle, I don't know what to do. Okay, so I took it around Christmas. At some point, if I go to the city manager and say, listen, I do not want to be paid out. I said that on the 21st. The chief was standing next to me at the time. When I had that conversation, all of a sudden, I'm listening on the internet because unfortunately, I'm not dressed correctly to be here. It's not correct, ma'am. I told you that to your face, and then you stand in here right now when I'm speaking, and then you say you don't remember that conversation. That's your fault, not mine. I had that conversation with you in the office with a witness. And then you say, oh no, you didn't say that. I've been here 28 years. All these hours I worked for. I busted my butt, I covered shift. You didn't. And you're going to come in here and say that to me? So at some point, where does it become? I'm not the enemy here. I've been trying to help with this city and I did everything for it.
Matt. Here, just look at me and direct your comments to me.
And at some point, when? And I'm fine. I don't have to be here. I love the city. Did everything I could. But you're punishing me? And then when I speak to the city manager, I need to put it in writing. Talk to her. Get a witness. It was on the 21st. We talked about all this. Said I don't want to be paid off. I want the time. I'm within policy right now. I was in policy last year. They paid out afterwards. At some point, what else am I going to do? I'm fighting with the city over hours? Okay, you can pay me out. It doesn't make a difference. Or I can retire and you can pay me out for everything. It doesn't make a difference. I told her I would burn it off by the first of the year. Then I hear, oh no, he said in January. No, I didn't say January. I said first of the year. Just like the policy says. I'm following the policy. What else do you want me to do?
So your excess amount was greater than how much?
Which one? Last year? It
No,
wouldn't.
I think it was
It's like 30 hours. It's not the point. I want the vacation.
So it was 34 hours paid out and something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I want the vacation. That's what I told her. What else do I got to do? I have 6 months to take off time. Why would you do that to me? Why not just go, hey, he doesn't want the money. It's going to cost the city less money if I take the time off because you're not going to pay me that money. And so you just pay it to me. And then don't inform me, don't do anything. And then come in the meeting and say, well, I don't recall that conversation. Well, I do. Ask my witness if he recalls. Because I brought somebody with me. We had a set-up meeting in City Hall, in her office, to talk about the sick time they took from me, or the vacation time. And even when you look at the payout they did it wrong. They paid me out for 3.5 hours of sick time. Why would you pay me out for sick time? Why would you? So it's an incorrect portion of it. So that one shouldn't be paid out on this payout then. So at some point, what else do you guys want me to do? I mean, I don't know what else to do. I didn't want to be here tonight. We talked about it. I wasn't going to be here. But then when I listened to it and everybody gets amnesia, well, we set a meeting up. We talked about it. Well, I mean, what else do you want me to do? And I don't know when your vote was. I was here that night. I didn't even know they did the payout until another employee talked about it. So at what point, again, I'm within policy. So now I'm punished for being within policy. And I keep hearing I was over last year. But that was because I took some vacation right around Christmas time. Normally we get paid right after that. Well, unfortunately, it's the next month or next week when I get paid, but it may be on the 3rd. So the 40 hours I burned at Christmas time didn't hit the paycheck until the 1st. So I don't know what else I can do. So unfortunately, I didn't want to sit home. I didn't want to be here tonight. But I can't sit there and listen to stuff that's not accurate.
Okay. All right, thank you for coming forward. Anyone else? Kiersten?
Just briefly, I do just want to say that for our purposes and for our policy, when your staff and I looked over the vacation payout review, obviously that spreadsheet was created by Stephen, was provided to us. We presented you with the information that we have on how many hours are accrued as of December 31st, 2024. So if there are, concerns about that number being incorrect, then we can certainly address those and relook at that. Absolutely. But I just don't want there to be a sense of, the numbers are forged and it's clearly one way or the other within policy. The spreadsheet that we were provided was provided by Stephen Bloom to us. That's how we provided you with the 288 hours as you requested. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Okay, thank you.
So I make a motion that we amend the vote.
Is this emotional?
What I would recommend is let me put it like this. If your request is that we just, for Mr. Fortney, make a different decision, rescind the payout, and offer the time to be used by the end of the year, then that we can motion because all of the interested parties are sort of noticed of that at this point, so we can do that. If you want everyone on that list to be asked if they want to pay back the payout or if they want to be able to use the time by the end of the year, then I would say that we need to move it to the next meeting so that everyone that's interested in that can have notice that we're discussing that.
And then I think that also we need to look at the policy and make sure, like, to be able to give them the option if they want to do vacation at the payout, do the vacation as the payout, or take the cash.
No,
vacation
I think that that's what I mean is that what you all voted on was that, so your policy says 288 hours. If you have more than 288 hours as of January 1, 2025, no, you don't. You have 288 hours. That's what your policy says. So you all saw, it was brought to you that there's an issue of some people have more than that. And how do you want to address that? And you all decided you were going to pay them out. If you want to make a motion that instead of that for Mr. Fortney, you will allow him to use it by the end of the year, then that's an acceptable motion for tonight. If you want to provide that option to everyone in order to provide proper public notice, it would be appropriate to move that onto the next agenda meeting, and you all make a motion on that. But your policy, as it stands, is 288. If you want to change the policy, that's a separate
No,
discussion.
I'm not talking about changing that. I'm just talking about the using vacation time like he's doing the end of the year. What his scenario is, give them the option of they can take their check or do it as vacation time.
So you're saying option 2 of what I just said, which is present that option to everyone on that list, is what you'd like to do.
So before you make a motion, do you have the list of everybody's that you can see it right now?
I'm trying to
Who,
find
I've got my
who has the amount of leave that they can use within this year and still follow under the guidelines? Because we have people who have more time than they can use in this year.
So let me just give you the numbers.
Then it makes no sense to ask everybody
and I'm going to give you the payout hours. So I'm going to give you the carryover hours and the payout hours for everyone on this list. And for anyone that wants to, it's on page 14 of the July 8th agenda. So Donald Barber carryover hours, and this is as of December 31st, 2024, is 488.28. Payout hours 200.28. Jonathan Bishop 790.38 carryover hours. Payout hours 392.46. Doreen Casolo 318.70 carryover hours. Payout hours 30.70. Matthew Fortney 352.39 carryover hours. Payout hours 27.97. Mike Miller 432.96 carryover hours. 144.96 payout hours. John Salmier? Salimer. 436.30 carryover hours. Payout hours 148.30. Benton Stiegel 354.20 carryover hours. Payout hours 66.20. Latricia Wright 320.24 carryover hours. Payout hours 32.24. That's everyone that's on your list that you were provided, which only included people that had over the 288 accruable hours as of December 31st.
Okay. But realistically, even if we ask people if they would prefer to use their time, with the exception of those who only have less than 50 hours to use.
Theoretically, you're asking, for instance, Jonathan Bishop to take 392 vacation hours.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. If we're offering to everybody and everybody says, yes, I want to use my time, realistically, 300, 200, 150 is not going to be used from here until the end of the year. Plus, they have time that's already accruing.
I mean, it would be case specific, but yes, I imagine.
So, would we be able to do it case specifically instead of asking everybody legally? Would it be okay to only ask those who has less than 50 hours?
My recommendation is that you treat everyone the same always, because that is the most legally defensible thing that you can do. I think that you could say that the people who have under 100 hours, it's reasonable that you may be able to use those within a year. And so you could tie, logically, you're giving an option to people with under 100 hours in payout available time, the option. You could do that. I could see that sort of being tied logically. I could have done that if I needed to. But I would say that is, I think, from my recollection, part of the previous discussion that you all had, which is that, 150 hours is not something that we can realistically say.
We have two of them sitting here right now we could ask. We have another one, Sergeant Doreen, that's on duty we could ask. The rest of them, there's only one other. I think that's all of them, actually. There are only 4 that are under 100 hours. So there they are. The 2 that are here, the one that's on duty, and Major Gordon.
And I just threw that number out. I mean, you don't have to do that. Yeah. It's just an example, but you could say.
I would also say the people that have their check now and they know they've got their money, they would have been here tonight if they didn't want the money. They'd have been here saying, "I want the hours."
I think that's probably from a practical standpoint.
Can I say, I also assumed that if employees felt like this policy wasn't for them, I would have expected them to come to the meeting and present that to us at the time or send it through their department head. So as much as I would like
they
to,
knew about it.
But it's been on the agenda 4 times.
They don't read our agendas.
Well, if it's about
They
the
don't read our
employees,
agendas.
how are
There's
they
no-
supposed to get this information then? Who is responsible for getting them the information about what actually pertains to their day-to-day lives and their jobs? Like, whose responsibility is that?
To me, that would be HR.
This is
Okay, so that's my point, and I guess I would
It
say
should be the
just-
supervisor's responsibility.
Right, I'm concerned about saying we can assume that because they're not here, because Mr. Courtney, I think, would disagree with that, and I hear him.
Only because he was here and he heard it. That's the reason he knew about it.
I know, but I just don't want to circle back to this conversation again and again with more employees coming forward and saying, oh, I didn't know this was an option, and then we keep having to vote on it. So I would say that we need to set this up so that we give them a window of time, like you have between now and this day, and you let us know what you want. And if you miss that deadline, then I'm sorry. The vote is the vote.
Yes, Mayor.
Who are you?
Oh, I said Mr. Mayor.
I thought you said yes, ma'am, and I was trying to find the person.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. My first question is to the council. When we're dealing with multi-years and we say as of December 31st, what year are we talking about? As of December 31st, 2025?
2024.
2024, not 2025.
Not 2025, 2024.
So these numbers were made prior to December 31st of 2024.
Correct.
But this is mid-2025.
We understand that.
And we've tabled it 3 times. We're just trying to get there.
So these numbers are no longer accurate.
They are.
They are. They're still from 2024.
Were the numbers forecasted ahead to 2025?
It was not. Everything they looked at was from 2024. That's when all of their time ended that we paid out for. Anything after January, anything from January 1st to current we're not even looking at that.
It's governed by the system and the HR policy that says 288 and no more. If you don't use it, you don't accrue it. If you hit the cap, you don't accrue it until you use some of it. I've worked for many companies that have done it.
And so we're all prepared not to have police officers on the field because there's no one else to be there, right?
There's only one police officer.
I'm asking the question. Are we all prepared for that? If our police officers and our fire department goes over the cap, we are prepared to tell our residents, sorry, we don't have enough police officers to help you.
Well,
If that's what I'm just asking. I would be. If I made your decision, I would be prepared to tell the residents we didn't have enough police officers because of our time constraints with the police officers. Is that what we're saying to our citizens?
I think what we're saying is there's a policy. We're governed by a policy. We also have supervisors and managers. So that would be a managerial thing.
You can't hire people without permission.
I'm not telling
Okay.
you to hire anybody or not hire anybody. I'm just saying
Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
that's kind of out of our. We're putting that in the hands of our supervisors to work with it the best way they can. That's all I can tell you. Yes, sir, Mr. Rose. Chief Rose.
And I definitely get what you're saying about the supervisor's responsibility, and I hear what Ms. Meredith is saying also. But it works in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. If I don't have somebody to cover the road, I got to call somebody. Because that's our obligation. That's my obligation to the city and to the citizens is to ensure that if they call law enforcement, there's somebody there. Well, if I don't have anybody, I got to call Major Court. I got to call the sergeant. I got to bring them in to work hours to cover the road. So in a perfect world, that situation of the question that the mayor asked of if we don't have police officers, are we going to not fill the road because of a time restraint, is a serious question that we need to consider. I understand that there's two parts of this puzzle. Okay, and everything, there's not a one fits all. It's just not. Because our world is different than utilities world. Utilities world is different than public works. So we have to get out of the mindset of a one way fits all, and we have to come together as a force and work together to develop policies that complement each different entity within the city. That's what we need to do. Instead of sitting here saying 288 is the limit for everybody, we need to sit down as a team, me, HR, city manager, and come up with a strategy that fits the different entities and how the hours work out. That's what we need.
Correct, I was just going to say that. So it's going to be boiled down to communication between management, HR, and the city manager. If HR is seeing, or whomever, I don't know if you have somebody that looks at time and things of that nature, but if somebody's looking at it and we're halfway through and we have this amount of time, go and have a conversation with the manager and HR, and you guys try to hash it out and figure out what you can do going forward to get either them under where they need to be, because we're not the system. The system's going to cut them off, and then you're not going to be able to track it. You understand what I'm saying? So you guys have a conversation and figure out how to try to make sure things are done. The things we're talking about aren't specific just to law enforcement. It governs everybody. And I know there are situations that's going to happen from one place to the other. But, I mean, we can't sit and say, okay, well, for this one we'll do this, for this we'll do that. But there has to be some sort of communication. And it's going to lie with you, Chief Stiegel, city manager, HR, the mayor. You guys have to sit down and conversate and have those discussions and then come to us to make decisions that we need to make. Bottom line, that lies with you guys.
Right. And I understand exactly what you're saying. But I'll give you an example. We have a hurricane today. Okay? Major Fortin is over 288 hours. Right? He ain't coming in here to work for free. He ain't gonna do it. So where do we go? That's why I'm saying we need to sit down and establish a structure, whether it be a contingency fund or a contingency bank hours. You know, we don't get comp time. I know some entities in the city get comp time. We're not allowed comp time. So if we have a hurricane, he's at 288 hours. Doreen's at 288 hours. Owen Compasor is at 288 hours. What do we do?
And your 2 officers down.
And I'm 2 officers down. So and that's why I'm saying it can't be a one-fit-all type situation.
When that happens, you go and sit down and have conversations and say, okay, here's where we are, and this is how much time we have before the end of the year. I know that person is already over, but unfortunately, I don't have a perfect answer. I don't think any of us have a perfect answer, but it has to start somewhere, and I think it needs to start with that communication and prior to coming to council.
So I would suggest that we, the city manager and HR and whoever else, sit down and try to develop a strategy that will fit what we need to make work in the city. Because like I said, I'm 2 officers down, and if he's over, and I got 3 people over on over 288 hours, They're not coming in to work for free.
Right.
You do what you got to do
I mean,
because
and
we
yeah,
hired you.
and
to
I
do
don't,
it.
I don't think anybody,
Right, and bring it
anybody
to us
expects that.
soon. Bring it to us soon because we're voting on next year's budget, and the first of the year is going to creep up on us real fast. It would be great if everybody knew where they stood going in, so we don't have, and I appreciate Major Courtney's frustration that we don't have employees feeling that way. We didn't know. We didn't have this information in front of us. We don't want to feel like we're doing the wrong thing. We want to feel like we're doing the right thing.
As I said, but
we're doing the right thing. So bring us something to vote on that makes everybody happy.
Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. Every 2 weeks, every manager gets a list of how many hours their staff has, how much vacation hours they have, how many safety hours they have, how much comp time if that's in their plan, and how many sick hours. Every 2 weeks. So managers see that every 2 weeks. If hurricane season's coming up, what we do is we make sure that the hours are low and they take their vacation so that they'll be here. The police can't do the same thing as we can. But as far as City Hall, that's how we manage it. So a lot of new policies don't have to come in. They just have to look at those records and make sure their staff are following the policies.
Anyone? Matt, come on back up.
I've been managing the police department with help from chief for a long time. When we hire somebody, we can't put them on the road. Okay? It takes 8, 10, 12 weeks to get them ready to go. Recently, we're down to 3 people. Okay? 3 people, when we hire them, we've hired 2 that didn't make it. All of this time has to be covered by one of our people. And that's been the thing. We need 8 people to cover the road every day just to have 2 people on shift. Okay? We have 13 people. If you're down 3, even if we hire them tomorrow, which we haven't, we're still looking for one, it still takes 8 to 10 weeks. Who's going to cover these shifts? All the hours that I had, it's not because I wanted to. I took a 40-hour vacation and worked 85 hours the next week when I go. Because we're short, 2 people quit when I was gone. At some point, with the amount of people we have, we can't only do so much. And the council, the city managers in the past, I didn't want to do that. They said, we're going to hold your hours. And now you come back and say, no, I'm going to punish you. Wait, I burned my stuff off. I'm doing what I can. And then I don't have a choice. I want the time off. I wanted time off before, but I didn't. Because I want to take care of our people. Because I'm not leaving my guys out there alone. And I'm a manager. This is what I do. I've been doing it for years. But at some point, if I'm 3 down, I'm 3 down for 5 months. Even if I hire them tomorrow. Because they don't go right on their own. We're lucky sometimes. We'll get one every once in a while that's a rock star that's out in 4 weeks. But most of them are 8, 10, 12 weeks. Some of the new kids, they don't make it. So what do you want us to do? Because I still got to have 2 guys on the road or 2 officers to make sure it's safe here. We only have 13 people. And then we end up with some murders, and we had a bunch of that last year. And then we find out our overtime's not there. Well, what do we do? I mean, we have to have a point that don't punish me because you guys are employees, or I just don't show up. And then I just go, we're good. Good luck. Well, I don't want to do that because I've never did that with our city. But that's what's going to happen with our employees. I'm not saying that any of us want to have these hours. Doreen Castello has changed her vacation 3 times this year to accommodate not having employees here. Because we lost 2 people at one time, and now we have one in training. Well, we're going to punish her. Okay, the payout's good if she's happy with it. I got it. But if she wants the time off, and now we do have full staff, which we're not, give it to her. And that's my biggest issue. And again, I got 2 sides. I got the emotional side that it was me that you're doing it to. But the second side is I'm a manager, and I've had to deal with not having people have to work day shift one day, midnight shift the next night, to cover shifts because I lose employees. And it's not like a lot of stuff. I know a lot of electric crews same way. You can't just put somebody out there. It takes months and months to get them hired. And now we're short. Well, we still got to cover those hours the whole time. And that's that's my only concern with all this. Thank you.
Can I just say, I think the city council is open to a new policy and to changing this, but you got to bring it to us. We can't solve that sitting up here on a Tuesday evening.
Yeah, and we're really not talking policy now. We're talking about whether we're going to let a 28-year employee walk. Because he feels like he did him wrong.
So what's that?
I feel that we should
rescind our former vote. That's how it works, and we give the employees a certain number of days, preferably sooner rather than later, so that they can go ahead, the ones that want to get this switched back can get it switched back, and they know where they stand on the vacation that they want to take this year, and we give them the opportunity to come to us in the next couple of weeks and say, I actually would prefer to take my vacation time. I don't want the payout. But then after that, for this year, I think it needs to be settled. And then if we can come up with a new policy that accommodates the challenges of the police department, utility department, people who end up getting called in, well, everybody does, the whole city. But then we
Madam President.
do that.
I agree with what you're suggesting, but you can't just rescind your vote.
Right.
You have to rescind your vote with the caveat that they are able to pay the money back.
Yes.
Then you can rescind your vote as long as you put in there that if you choose you would rather take your vacation time this year only, then you have to pay back that money. Otherwise, you cannot.
And we
Because
still don't.
unfortunately, the checks have been issued.
And we still don't rescind it. We amend it. I'm sorry. So are we going to, so if they come back and say that they want to use time and they don't use the time, are they going to lose the time, or then we're going to pay them out then?
Yes, of course.
No.
Yes.
If they're saying that they want to use the time, they need to use it by the end of the year. Otherwise, they should lose it. Period. That's my feeling.
Weren't you going to pay them now?
They chose not to take the payout. They chose to. Yes, they choose not you because you have no time to choose. Maybe get yours out, but I'm talking about those who have greater than X amount of hours who probably will not be able to utilize.
And
if they come and
they
say,
won't go for this anyway.
"Oh, believe me, they got their money and they're gone." I mean,
All right.
they're buying a new car tonight.
The point, Madam President, is that you can have both things. You can amend your vote to allowing those that would rather have that vacation time to pay the money back. But then if they don't in January, it goes back to you have to pay them the money.
It doesn't have to.
It does right.
It doesn't have to.
No,
They're not entitled to
then
any
you
payout.
can tell them that you're not
Correct.
going to as
So
part
can
of
we
your
get
amendment.
Can we get a vote or a motion or something so we can move on? Like you want to make it, go make it.
I thought she just.
Yeah, I can do it. I make a motion that we amend our vote to allow employees to come forward prior to the next meeting and let us know if they would prefer to take their vacation as opposed to getting the payout.
Second.
And if they don't,
They lose the money at that end.
If they choose to keep their vacation days, then in January, per current city policy, 288 hours is the cap on what they can take. So it's their choice. It's not in our hands. It is in the employee's hands.
Can I add the additional request that so that there's no confusion moving forward, requests are in writing, submitted to the city manager.
Please put it in writing.
Second motion. Any other discussion by the council? Any discussion by others? Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I just wanted to see if you recognize me.
I am.
I have no further discussion.
Yes, Ms. Wright.
I just need for Ms. Meredith, Councilmember Martin, to clarify the motion against, to make sure I have it correct.
Help me out. I make a motion.
You repeat it to her.
I make a motion that we amend our previous vote on this topic and allow employees to come to us in writing, the city manager and HR in writing, and give them the option to choose whether they want to take their vacation days or get the payout, with the caveat that if they choose to take the vacation days, as of the first of the year, 288 hours is the maximum number of hours that they can travel into 2026 with. And they will not, it's either take the payout or the vacation.
And to clarify, it's just the employees that we had previously discussed on July 8th, right?
And just the employees that are on the list that we discussed on July 8th.
Yes,
Robert, Robert Langan, 500 Northwest 5th Avenue, Williston. I've dealt with this thing. Same thing you all did. Sounded like you all jumped the gun. They did it with us when a company bought us out, but they gave us a year notice before we lost anything. But they also did, and what I think you all need to consider, with hurricanes and whatnot, you need to establish a bucket. You got your 288 hours. If you got a hurricane, excess hours come out, and you put X amount of hours in a bucket. And you pull the X amount of hours out of that bucket that do not apply to their 288, one way or the other. Make any sense? Emergency bucket. Yeah, we had buckets. I mean, hell, I've worked jobs. We've had 10, 15 buckets with money in for different emergencies, things come up.
Make it worse instead of better. Yeah, that would just make us have more hours instead of less hours.
But it doesn't. You don't penalize your employees by taking hours away from them or having to pay out. Yeah, you'll have to pay out if you pull money out of that bucket. But you theoretically force people to work and cost them at the end of the year.
What we do is we pay double time and triple time when they're working.
We did
and
too.
They can't use their vacation.
We did too, but we still had buckets of hours for emergencies and stuff where it did not affect the budget. Specific.
Thank you. Ms. Penny.
Hey, how about next time before y'all go and vote on something with other employees and stuff, y'all should have a workshop, a budget, or something with all the employees and bring it to their attention before y'all make a decision, so it ain't like this again, please.
Thank you, Ms. Penny. Chief Rose.
What the gentleman was speaking about is comp time. Some areas in the city are allowed to get comp time. We're not. And we know that comp time is an unfunded liability. But if we were to move in that direction, it will give us more time to get the employees to have time off. But there's always that risk of it being an unfunded liability that you take. That's why we've got to come up with some type of situation where if we're going to allow comp time like we do in some places within the city, then maybe we ought to allow it across the street as well. But just keep in mind, it's an unfunded liability.
Yeah, the auditors just love it. Yeah. All right. So we have a motion and a second. So I move the vote. All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. So we're going to move to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Nay. So, motion passes 3-2. About 4-1. Nay. Nay. Oh, I didn't hear you.
Okay.
3.
I didn't hear you.
Nobody heard your 2. Sorry. We didn't hear you in the mic. I mean, none of us heard it. Yeah, I heard it too. But okay, that's fine. 3.
What?
All right. So now we're going to go with item number 6, new business. A, discussion with possible action, SRF, State Revolving Fund, Grant Loan, Public Works Supervisor Donald Barber or Walt Nickel. Right there. Either one of them are here. Is he on the line? Is Donald on the line? She's checking. He's not online. Okay. We'll move on to.
So, is Laura here? Does she know if this is a time Is there a time crunch on this, or can we table it? You think so? You can if you feel comfortable doing that.
I make a motion we approve state revolving fund grant / loan.
It's resolution 2025-77.
Yeah. No. That's
No, actually,
we're
it's
on A. We're on the first one.
Well, I
A.
know, but it's the same thing. If you look at your agenda, well, are they both wastewater treatment?
We're on A. That's B.
Right. So she made a motion. She made a motion.
We're on A though.
We're on A.
We're on
So,
A.
she made a motion. Anybody want to say? Well, okay. So somebody tell me what the state revolving fund grant loan is for. Mr. Barber is online. Oh, well, I said he was.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mr. Barber.
So if we're talking about the item, I have Josh Fordham here to answer the specifics to the aerator. Josh can answer any questions that you all have. The aerator was voted on a few meetings ago to replace.
No.
I don't want to. We're on the SRF grant loan.
It's for this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so if it's about SRF,
yes.
That item of discussion is Walt there?
No.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Walt had told me he was to be there, so I apologize. So the SRF is the state revolving fund. If you guys are looking at the grants that are available, the state revolving fund on this vein is not for the water, that's separate. This is the sewer. And on the sewer state revolving fund, we had the initial loan, which will have 50% grant forgiveness. And that's done over a 20-year period of time at basically zero interest. We've already engaged in that. Wright Pierce has been working at least the last 6 months on that. That's what the cammering of the lines have been on the sewer system and the proposals to reline, fix lift stations, and do those sorts of things. That's not the treatment process. That's the collections process and the main pipes. It basically addresses all the 40s and 50 era pipe within the city. So that's phase one. They give you the money to study it out, to understand and identify the most critical aspects that need to be addressed so that we can save the most amount of money addressing those problems. Then what happens is come in November or December, we'll have all of those findings together that we want to present in a workshop to you all as quickly as we can because we have most of that information. And Wright Pierce, Bart Bose, Dennis Davis, Walt Nickel, Antonio, they would all present to the council an opportunity for them to delve into the subject in depth, to hear about what parts of town have the most critical issues, to hear where the points of failure are, to talk about infiltration. For example, we can gain back capacity of the plant if we address stormwater and rain and all of those things not making it into the sewer system. So you can actually save, for every gallon at a new plant of capacity that you have to create, it's around $60 a gallon. So if you all look at the grant we just put in a couple weeks ago, we had $23 million we asked for the grant to increase by 500,000 gallons a day plant. That's basically doubling our plant size. But if we go through SRF and we reline those pipes and we address some of what we call the infiltration, we can get that cost down considerably. We can get that cost down to maybe $10 or $12 a gallon. So there's a huge difference when you're talking about capacity and getting back, let's say 10% or 12% capacity out of the plant, which gives us more time to design, gives us more time to get approval for grants, more time once those grants are awarded to actually do the construction. So that's what the SRF workshop is about. It's the second step. It's the next step to the sewer, within the city of Williston to take the information on the first SRF, which is the study, and present it and give council their options of how small or how big do you want to go, how many of the problems do you want to address, what is considered critical, what is considered kind of an intermediate need, and what is considered an investment maybe for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that's what they want to do, is give council the options that they would have in going after a larger loan. How that loan, many of you recall, is that second round is over a 30 or 40 year period, again at pretty much zero interest, and it is 80% loan forgiveness. So what they would encourage is that understanding that each year that things go by, they get more expensive. We figured that out with COVID. And also, not only do things get more expensive, but the sewer system continues to degrade faster. And of course, it gets more expensive. So council could say, we see $10 million worth of projects that we want addressed in this SRF, and we would take out that loan with SRF. $8 million of it would disappear after the first year, completely forgiven. So $8 million would go away, and then you would have to pay for the $2 million that's left over for that period of 30 or 40 years at basically zero interest. Or you could go up and say, no, we want to do $20 million worth of needs. And so we're going to get $16 million completely forgiven, 100%, and then we're only going to have to pay the $4 million over the 30 or 40 years. So that's what they're going to propose to give council an opportunity to digest the information, talk to the residents, talk to their constituents, get with staff, and really come up with a vision for how do we get this 40s and 50s and even 60s era sewer pipes back up to a sufficient level.
So, Mr. Barber, is it this? Are you asking for permission to apply for the loan? This is not a the loan that we've gotten. This is applying for it, right?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jones, that is correct. Councilmember Joseph, this is for you guys to give Wright, Kiersten, the staff what you all would like to see as a proposal, because what you all determine is what you want to do, what goals you want to set. Once you see the results of a lot of the studies, you would give us a goal to go to SRF, DEP, and say, this is how much we think we want to borrow. These are the amount of projects that add up to this amount, and that's what we want to get funded. And we just thought it would be more important than trying to squeeze that into a regular meeting and making it really long. We'll just give you guys an opportunity to have an hour, hour and a half where you could only talk about that one subject, really get your questions answered, go off, think about it, and then report back to Wright Pierce, report back to the staff, report back to the city manager of what you guys' will was, and then we can go and do that come November and December and activate on that plan.
And once we receive it, then we would approve it.
Yes, ma'am. We would apply for it. They would tell us we were in approval status, and then council, just like a grant, would say, okay, we're accepting this. You could even reject it up to that point. Like, let's say something happened in the state, the law changed, and they say, oh, no, now it's not 80, it's only 50, and now we're going to charge you interest. Council would have an opportunity to say, okay, no thanks. So we would know all those terms definitively, what the payment schedules were, all of that. We would even know when the payments would begin, when the projects would begin, because some of them would be over a couple of years. And then you guys would have all that information before you'd have to accept or reject that proposal.
But we're going to do a workshop first, right?
That's the suggestion. We just thought that would be easier for you all, and that would be more palatable than trying to squeeze it into a meeting with a host of issues. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any questions from anyone else? Public, staff? No. All right, so move to vote. All those in favor?
I don't know that we ever got a second. Did we get a second? I thought mine did. I apologize.
All those in favor? Oh.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Trying to get closer to the mic. All right, so motion passes 5-0. All right, item number B, resolution 2025-77. Resolution of the City Council of Williston for approving the removal and disposal of the Williston Sewer Treatment Wastewater Plant Digester Sludge, and approval for the American Pipe and Tank Incorporated Services, authorizing appropriate parties to sign and documents required to effectuate same on behalf of the City of Williston, and providing an effective date. Public Works Supervisor Donald Barber and Josh Fordham, Wastewater Plant Operator Training.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Council President. I'm going to turn it over to Operator Fordham. Josh can go over with you guys what the scope of the issue is and why we are proposing this to you.
Thank you.
Good evening. How are you all?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay, so the reason why we're requesting this funding is there's a few reasons. One is that the digester hasn't been emptied out in about 10 years, so there's been a lot of sediment built up. So we've lost capacity, which is costing the city money because we have to have it, and because we've lost capacity, we're having to have it emptied more frequently by American Pipe and Tank. The other thing is that there hasn't been any serious maintenance done on the digester since it was put online in 1985 or 1986. So it's in desperate need of some piping, some repiping that we can take care of ourselves. It's just the matter of like removing the content of the digester so we can have access to those pipes.
I would move approval of resolution 2025-77.
We have a first and a second. Any comments by the council?
I have a question. Is this coming out of utilities budget?
Yes.
Great.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public? We have none. I move to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Josh. Item C, Resolution 2025-78, Resolution of the City Council of the City of Williston, approving and entering into an amendment to the agreement between the City of Williston and Beaudet for the latter to serve as city manager for the City of Williston, authorizing the City Council President to execute the amendment and provide an effective date. See Attorney Kiersten.
Okay. So, Council, this is, you'll recall at our last meeting, you had asked that we extend the probationary period. The amendments that I have in front of you are, so you have the resolution, which obviously is to adopt, but attached to the resolution is the amendment to the contract. I don't have a date in there because you all have not informed me of how long you would like to extend that initial, what I'm going to call a probationary period. Paragraphs 6.2a and 6.2b are also amended minorly in order to provide for that sort of probationary language that you all were looking at and for. So I'm open to, you'll see another blank, which is at the very top, February blank 2025, the agreement. I need to find the actual signed agreement so I can figure out what the last date is, but the only information that I need from you all is what you would like that date to be.
If you have some concerns, is this a time to bring them up since we're talking about extending? Or
concerns about the contract?
Just some, last meeting I brought up about vehicles. I think there was a question as far as to how many. Ms. Sue did get a list of vehicles, but since she's been there, we purchased 6 vehicles in short amount of time, which is like $66,705. I guess we were spoiled, because correct me if I'm wrong, this stuff was always brought to the council. And I realize there is a resolution that said that city manager can spend up to $25,000.
That's your purchasing policy. Yes.
But I thought that changed when Ms. Debra, correct me if I'm wrong. The purchasing policy, we changed that from 25 to a lower amount. For some reason, I'm thinking that we did. Just because what the previous manager said that we didn't need any more vehicles. So I'm just trying to figure out is where are the 6 vehicles, what are they being used for? And then what are we doing with the 6? Are we replacing them?
We may have amended. I'm trying to say here. I don't think that we changed the purchasing policy. I think what we did was we said that we could get a certain number for each year again. But I don't know that we said a dollar amount on it.
Yeah, because I've been looking to try to find it.
But how is that relevant to what we're talking about? We're talking about extending her probationary period, not.
Well, this could decide whether we go 2 months or a month or none at all.
I can tell you that relevant to this discussion and I know that the two are not completely related, but I know that a lot of obviously, everyone knows there's a lot going on. We have an investigation that's going on, and the idea is the truth will out through this investigation and that you all will have more information. From my conversations with Megan, Logan, and Danielle, I do not expect that the report would be past September. I expect that you all would have some feedback in September from your independent investigator and Danielle regarding the investigation that took place. So if that assists you in this process, that is the timeline that I have available.
So, when is their original deadline for her probation time? I know August, but do you
August
remember
24th. I started on February 24th.
And you're thinking no later than the end of September?
You should have at least the presentation on the investigation by September.
I personally would like to have an additional period of time after we find the results of the investigation, which, by the way, just to clarify to anybody listening, we're not investigating Sue.
Right.
It's just a general investigation into sort of the way some issues here in the City Hall. But I would like to have an additional month after that investigation for 2 reasons. 1, so that we can all process, and 2, to give Sue time to deal with whatever has been found and needs to be addressed. I think it's entirely unfair to put findings on our desks and then, 4 days later say, well, sorry, you didn't solve that problem. So I would like to have at least until October 24th or whatever comparable date.
First meeting in October.
I would agree to October 21st or 4th, just simply because there's been time frame in her employment that she had to deal with a lot of other stuff other than the job that she was. I mean, she was hired to deal with this too, but it's been a lot. So if she is good with that, October 24th for me would be fine.
We're right into the investigation. But as far as
So we're trying to decide how are we doing 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Are we extending the probationary period? And again, she has a say in this. Sue has a say in this. Or you're not here. Sue has a say in this. So it's for us to decide: are we going to extend it for 1 month, which does not give us much time at all? 2 months would give us a reasonable amount of time. 3 months would give us a very sufficient amount of time. 90 days, which is great. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be more like November.
And let me just say that we have a council member meeting in November on the 4th and the 18th. So the 20th of November would.
I'm fine with that. I just want to remind everybody, and I talked to each of you individually about the fact that I do have a vacation coming up the week of Labor Day where I'm going to Greece. So I apologize for that, but I planned that at the end of my original 6 months. So
take us with you.
Yeah, you have to take us with you. Otherwise,
we approve of people taking vacation. Well, thank you. I appreciate it because 9 months is a very long time to go without a vacation. So
thank you.
All right, I make a motion that we extend our city manager's contract probationary period 90 days past what is currently written.
Okay, so November 24th is what you want me to put in.
Second motion.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Council? Any discussion from the public? No discussion. Move votes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Item number D, Resolution 2025-79. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Williston. I know y'all are over here, and I'm like, all right. Item D, Resolution 2025-79, a resolution of the City of Williston, City Council of City of Williston, Florida, approving and entering into a maintenance agreement between the City of Williston and Enterprise Holding Incorporated regarding the Williston Regional Airport, authorizing the City Council President to execute the agreement and providing an effective date. Airport Manager James Legal and City Attorney Kiersten.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So, I'd like to, before we get into too much, I'd like to say that this is all thanks to Sue. I reached out to her actually when she came out to the airport. She asked me what's one of my big things I needed, and it was I need rental cars and I need a hotel. And those are both really big asks. Through a couple of her contacts and some of the conferences she went to, she reached out to a VP of an enterprise and made this happen. So essentially what you have before you is a document that's been reviewed by Kiersten saying that the airport team will clean the vehicles and turn the information over to Enterprise. Enterprise will send us a contract, and we will be able to issue rental cars like that at the airport.
Is there any legal blowback? I assume not. Of asking it, any legal concerns given the city being responsible for maintenance not maintenance, but cleaning and all of that.
So I mean, there's always liability associated with everything that you do.
You covered it pretty good though.
But it is covered pretty well. That Enterprise Enterprise will have a contract with the renter of the vehicle. The city is more of just a pass-through. So to the extent that you have liability, it's the liability of, I suppose, if Benton's out there like wielding a vacuum and smashing windows. In the Enterprise vehicles, we may have some issues there. I think otherwise you're pretty limited in your liability.
Who will be transporting vehicles to and from Enterprise? Is that something that we're liable for, or will they send somebody to do those?
from my understanding, they're going to drop a couple of cars off at the airport.
Okay.
And I mean, if they have one ways, it would be their responsibility to get us another one.
Okay.
But the area manager and I would probably communicate when it comes to day-to-day operation stuff. As far as cost goes for us, I don't see too much cost for us other than maybe some glass cleaner and hours to clean this out or clean cars out if they come back bad. But I mean, they're rental cars. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Just know who not to rent to again.
Do we get a fee for being their agent in place?
That was the other thing. We do not.
Okay.
This is a clean pass-through for us. We're not making any money, but it does supply a very needed service to the city. And it won't just be for airport personnel. Citizens can actually put in for enterprise cars as well for the airport.
Right. So how are we going to advertise that?
Did you say how? I mean, I could throw it on the Facebook page.
I'm just curious.
We can advertise it
we're
through the
talking
chamber.
about income. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought it was good that they aren't charging us and we're not paying them.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
great.
Okay.
It is definitely a good service.
I make a motion reapprove resolution 2025-79.
A second.
We have a first and a second. Any other comments from the council or the public? We have none. All right, move to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those who oppose say nay. Motion is passed 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I see a addendum that we need to, you spotted that too. Addendum to the agenda. So we're gonna say this item 7? Or
I don't see that.
should we say item 6B?
That was D. So what?
Are you talking about the second public comment?
Yes.
We would make that 7. We'll just drop down 7
Drop
and
everything
8.
down. Okay, sounds great. So item number 7, public participation. This is the second time that the public will be able to speak for 5 minutes on anything that we have not covered on the agenda. Seeing we have none. Item 8, announcements. Any announcements from council?
Sure. Maybe Miss Jones could answer some of this. What's going on with some of our Elianos, Wawa, all them? Anything movement on what they're going to be doing?
What businesses specifically would you like to talk about?
All of.
So let's start with Ileana.
It's been an hour and a half meeting already. You really want me to talk about all the businesses
You don't
coming?
have to.
Okay.
No. Only a
We'll start with the Old Green Shutters. That business is being turned over to another restaurant. That one place is leaving, and that lease is being changed over. The Subway is doing some renovations, so we're going to see all new facade. The inside will be all different. The liquor store will be redone. Some of the parking lot is going to look really nice. Laurel Point, we're still working with them on the 2 commercial parcels that are going to be on the outside, but Mr. Boyer is ready to start construction very soon. Work my way back.
Question on that one. Did he bring you an amended
They're
plan?
making a small enough amendment that it can be approved by me.
Oh, wonderful. Did he move to 18 houses or no?
Well, they're going to phase it out. So, but I don't know about the 18 houses. They're not going to do 18 to begin with. Okay. They're going to phase it. But the amendment's very small, and so they're going to be able to do the whole project. But the 2 commercial areas, we're still working on them. I have had some calls from Mr. Schumann that did Blue Rock. We cannot put another restaurant at Blue Rock because it has been legally blocked by the lease at Wendy's. So, but we do have interest of a couple more restaurants in town. So I've been working with him on some properties that are for sale. So we have quite a few properties, but this particular restaurant wants an acre. So if anybody knows an acre, on the highway that somebody's trying to sell, let me know because I have a restaurant that's interested. Mr. Penny might have one. We'll talk later.
I don't have one, but I know one.
Okay. Mr. Schuman's still working very hard to fill that final lot, so it's not quite an acre. It's a split. Or it's a little bit more than an acre. Let me think. What's next? Going down the way. Oh, the Wawa. The Wawa, most of their plans are complete. They're just bidding out, and they're trying to select a contractor. No, there will not be a car wash at the Wawa. I'm not sure where that rumor came from. The Wawa doesn't typically have a car wash. Now, when they first came here, they did talk about a car wash, but that would have been, they were going to remember, they were going to have two separate parcels. One was going to be a car wash, and one was going to be the Wawa. The car wash would be done by a different company, but they needed that for drainage, so they had to take the car wash out. Going down the line, we have Eliano's. They are still waiting on their DEP letter of closure. I did tell the property owner, I guess a week and a half ago, if they call the DEP and ask for that letter, it might go a little bit faster. But other than that, they are ready to go. I got a call today from Anytime Fitness. He's ready to go. He's going to be putting in his permits next week. Melanie's is going to be probably doing some demolition in the next couple of months so that she can clean that up and start her new projects.
Are they planning on rebuilding?
She would like to. She would like to. I mean, it's a personal decision. It's her. She has business, and
I was just curious.
it's not going to be cheap, so. But we would like her to for sure. Any other?
Ivy House.
Well, the Ivy House is. I haven't heard anything from them lately, so I think that they're almost done. Yes, sir.
Chief Stegall, do you know anything on the Ivy House?
Oh, December. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing new. November, December is what they've told us. Yeah, we're all very excited about the Ivy House. The CRA would like us to work on striping some of the streets here. This main street, which is actually, it kind of seems like our parking lot, but in front of the Ivy House and Heritage Park, to make it a little bit safer, make it look more like a road, and for parking issues. So we'll bring that up with their new budget.
Northwest, right?
No, Main Street, right here between Ivy House and the.
That's Northwest thing.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen right now, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you.
Any other?
Ms. Jones. Any other questions for Ms. Jones?
She might have this. The townhomes.
Well, they're working. We have a meeting with them on Thursday to finish up their utilities issues. We'll be probably getting permits from them by building, because that's how it typically goes. And so, yeah, they would like to be building, but, they're trying to work. And then when they start their work here for moving dirt in the summer, when it's monsoon season, they have a little bit of trouble moving ahead. But, yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, they seem like they were moving along really good, putting pipe in all the way up to wood fields and everything, and then all of a sudden it's like grasses, weeds are growing up, and don't see anything out there now.
I mean, I can't tell them how to
Is
schedule their
that
budget.
the one behind the school?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they want to get up fast, get those buildings sold.
Any other comments from? Thank you.
You're welcome.
For announcements.
One quick. I'll keep it really quick. There was recently a biplane at the airport that belonged to the father of a good friend of mine, and he flew that plane about 3 hours a day, going about 60 miles an hour, all the way from Palm Springs, California to Williston, and I got to ride in it. Cool. But also I asked him, I said, what do you think of our airport? You stopped in a lot of little tiny airports on the way here, because that's what he did. Do you have any suggestions? What do you think? He said, it's fantastic. Don't change anything. So he was really impressed with the airport and town and everything else. Let's go Williston.
Go Williston. Always nice to hear that. So I would like to ask the question. Are we thinking about expanding our airport? Every day.
I know
I kind of asked you that before when I first got here. But.
I mean, that's a very open-ended question. Are we talking about
expanding it to incorporate larger airplanes?
We would need a lot of money for that. There have been talks of doing something like that possibly, but that has all it has been talk. So I mean, we've talked with several agencies about several different projects, some of which over the years since I've been here have failed. So I mean, we're always looking for ways that are new and innovative to grow the airport. And I assure you, when something actually does happen, it will come to you guys. But
definitely so.
Until they put their money where their mouth is, we just kind of keep on keeping on.
So Miss Jones asked that I hear something. No, I didn't.
You heard her.
No, I didn't. But when I first became a council member, and he showed me around, we have a lot of space out there, and even if we don't go big,
we've been talking to Levy County Tourism. We've been talking to North Florida Economic Development. We've had several groups come out to the airport, tour the airport. Sue and I have actually got a proposal that we were going to bring to you guys. We're trying to work through some other things first, but basically to market the land side of the airport and spend a little bit of airport funding from the reserve to actually market out a little bit. But we haven't had enough time to sit down and talk about it all. Between Sue and I, we just haven't had the time between everything else going on. Now getting into budget season is going to be even more fun.
Right. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge airport, but just something that other people can look at related to travel and come to our town, through our town, and maybe we can have a little bit growth, not too much.
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually I'm talking with some people. I'm talking with some people that they're looking at some lower level charter operations, maybe in the next 2 to 5 years. But we'll see how it turns out.
Okay, thank you.
I personally tried to charter, not for myself, but for a friend who was looking to go to a funeral. Tried 2 different people out there actually to charter a flight, and they were cost prohibitive, like unbelievable. And this person was willing to pay like $9,000 or $10,000 to go on his timeline to New York and back, because he needed a quick turnaround, and he had paid $9,000 to go out of Orlando, but he was willing to pay $9 or $10 to go out of here, and I could not find anything in that price range. Everything I found, believe it or not, and I talked to 2 or 3 different jet and turbo prop people and couldn't find anything lower than that, or even at the same price.
Yeah,
which would
unfortunately,
be wonderful if
private aviation is not cheap.
Right. I know fuel's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and the maintenance on a jet is
labor
crazy.
Yes, sir.
This is for Mr. Siegel.
Yes, sir.
What about signs? What are we doing about a sign out on the road?
So we've kind of hit a little bit of a wall with that, in that we don't. FDOT won't let us put a sign on 121 in the right of way. So we would have to reach out to the landowner there on the corner and work out some sort of lease and or very small purchase of the corner of that property to be able to put a sign there. Before we can get started on anything, we would have to do that.
So, are we planning to do that, or? I mean, we built a really nice FBO, and I know in the past, a couple of different times, I brought up about getting a sign out there.
Yes, sir. And that's something that Sue and I have talked with Levy County Tourism about as well, is trying to get the ball rolling on that, because the municipalities aren't always liked when you go knocking on a door. But yeah, if you get a tourism director or somebody like that can actually, bring it forth with a charismatic message, sometimes you get a little bit better reports. So I think we're going to try to go that route.
Or our new economic development director.
All right,
you can always sell space on it once you got it done.
Right. And I don't think I don't think money would be the problem. I know that Mr. Pia has already said that they would throw a pretty considerable amount of money into the sign. And I'm sure that all the other businesses will throw a little bit at it here and there, and there's a number of ways that we can handle that. But unfortunately, right now, the stone wall is the land.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else on the council? If not, item 9, adjournment. Motion.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you guys. Have a great night. At 8:11.